No post on Discord. We liveth. Hello.
Howdy, darling. I just want you to be prepared because the incident happened to us like probably 10 minutes ago, so it could happen again. If you check a blue Guardian, okay, it's like a darker blue, like a royal blue. They might run into the sewers, and they have another person come to the top and lock the sewers, and then we have no way to open the sewers. So just keep that in mind to be careful. Don't be careful chasing shooting down in the sewer.
Okay. Do we know who it is? Because when I lock that bitch in the cell in which I can't hear him and walk away, I don't want to hear no complaining.
I think it was somebody had a warrant. I don't know who it was. You have to call Lucas and Piper. They're the ones that knew that the person had a warrant, and that's why they were pursuing him.
All right.
Yeah, they had their little friend come and lock them down in the sewers, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, what the fuck? I'm like, do you think I could take the sledgehammer from MRPD that could just bust down walls and bust down the sewer thing? Because like, I'm like, how the fuck am I supposed to get these people out of there?
Ooh,
at this point?
girl, the scouts in S class now. It's a big back bitch.
Did it get better from yesterday?
No, I upgraded it.
So just because you upgraded it?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
But it's giving me a different number now. Huh.
Than yesterday?
Yeah. After upgrades, so it said like low 700s. Now that bitch 750 something.
Okay, well maybe they manufacturer recalled and tuned it up a bit. That's good because I low key sold my scout to Judas, and Judas had 2 big back bitches. So, you know, it's good that he might get something out of his damn money worth. You know.
Hold up. What? Thank you for the heads up. I appreciate it, by the way.
Yeah, it's good.
You're welcome, darling. Just be safe on the street.
I will. I will.
All right, goodbye.
Hi.
Some lavender, please.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Oh, I am the magical cat giving out free candy to everyone.
Girl, free candy.
Well, it's not.
Hey, wait. Number one, I ain't accepting no free candy from nobody. But secondly, you know what I think is fucking hilarious?
Have some fun.
What?
Live a little.
No, have y'all seen? You know how like every fucking Halloween they're like, be careful, they're putting fucking whatever in candies like razor blades. Have you seen the memes where it's like a fucking like electric saw? They're like, careful guys, they put the electric saw with the fucking Snickers bar. Like something absurd.
Every year they just come up the most random, stupidest shit.
It's so good. Because let's be honest, that shit ain't be happening. No one's doing that.
Yeah, I know. Who's gonna waste their like hard-earned drug money on like candy? It makes no sense. As if you're gonna put expensive drugs in candy. Crazy.
Oh, that's crazy.
Very crazy. So you don't want your nuggets? I threw them on the ground for you.
Yeah, eat
They
them.
don't have any swords or anything in them.
We prepared
Where are the
nuggets for you.
To your right.
Yeah.
Oh, I see him.
And if you reach into my pockets, you can get a drink.
I'm not reaching into nobody's pockets.
Weirdo.
I can't move my arms.
Put me down.
There we go.
Yeah, he can't move his arms because
Thank you
he's
for the
what are you
nuggies.
again? No worries. Happy Halloween.
Yes.
Happy Halloween.
There we are.
Stop being rude, sir.
Don't be rude to them.
Exactly. Hey.
Lucas.
Gotta spread joy.
Lucas.
Yes.
This the big back scout now.
Oh, get that big back truck over there then.
Oh, what you mean?
Wait,
Lucas.
who has a big bag?
Tell them to confess their sins.
Are there people?
Hello.
Oh.
Lucas, I need to talk to you. Come over here.
Oh, okay. What?
Flee from me.
What?
It won't be a single turn anymore.
Okay. Hold on. You wanna talk to this big
Oh.
Hello.
Passenger princess.
Oh,
Are
okay.
you going to bed, babe? Okay, good night.
Oh, you sound a lot better now.
What do you
were
mean I
ill
sound a
last time
lot
I spoke to
better?
you. You were
Oh,
ill last time I spoke to you.
it must have been a
Are you going to
while
bed
ago.
too, babe?
Yeah, I'm going to fight for you too.
Okay, good
Yeah,
night.
I wanted a fighting fucking
Good night,
chance, not the
bye.
fucking supercar.
Right. I need you to do me a favor.
Okay, it's a possibility.
Tell your husband to stop doing husband things and you know, I can't look after him if he's being
I
silly.
can't tell my husband to stop doing husband things. That's
Well,
wild.
well, listen, okay. I'm just saying that you need to check your husband and to tell him to stop being, you know, super dark and you know,
Nova.
he needs to stop being super dark because I don't want him to get hurt and then you to be angry at me.
Let's not forget, Richard.
Yeah.
Richard is Richard, and if he was going to do
Richard is
something, it
Richard.
doesn't matter how many warnings he received prior to.
Hard ass.
Mm-hmm. And it's because he was right in doing so, probably.
I'm not
Asterisk.
saying that he's not wrong in doing so or that he does stuff wrong. I'm just saying that I don't want Richard to get hurt and then, you know, you be angry at me because I wasn't there for him.
No, I wouldn't be angry with anybody.
Well, I'd be angry.
Except
I'm already
him.
angry.
Him, I'd be upset with.
How have you been?
Good. For the most part.
Good.
Luca's out here pulling out the coquette to deal with the scout. That's wild.
Oh, it's a stolen car.
No, but I finally upgraded the scout. Everyone's given up on the scout. I'm a scout believer, okay?
Oh, okay.
This is the fucking big back scout. We ain't no little bone, little leg, little body, little back ass bitch. I'm gonna start using that. I saw a TikTok where they said that, and I fucking died of
I
laughter.
can't hear you.
Yeah, you gonna crash on the bend.
Who you talking to?
Listen, it could be worse. You know what? 390.76, latest 90 alpha.
Dispatch 308 1042.
Oh, you know what? I think I'm 42 as well.
You're all going 42 now?
Yeah, you think I'm gonna be responding to calls by my lonesome self? No. How you gonna abandon me so quick?
Girl, I've been on duty. It's been dead
I can't believe
quiet.
you
I'm
do
going
this, Lucas.
crazy. Literally ripping my hair out. I gotta go to bed.
But I mean, if you think about it, there's only been 167 dispatch calls, bitch. We used to get that in the first fucking hour of the meeting.
Yeah, that's true. You're not wrong. I chased a tornado today. Very exciting and luxurious.
Like the car? Oh.
We were trolling though and went tornado in our CVPI.
Lucas, I don't know if I told you.
What?
All right.
Oh.
This may be the big ass fucking. Listen, I can fit a fucking V12 in here, okay?
Wait,
now apparently, yup, this bitch got a 3-meter wide engine bay. This gonna be the sleeper of the PD, and nobody knows. Nobody
It's the
knows.
way your interceptor started and you talking about your scout. You
This
go to
bitch
scout.
will be an interceptor. All we have to do is throw a V12 in it.
Okay.
Now, do I
You know
have the
what?
200
V12
grand?
costs.
Do I have the 200 grand every 30
200
days?
grand,
No, but I did the math. Guys, I did the math. You ready? I'm gonna bust out the calculator here. 200 grand.
Also, apparently, I don't think you'll need to pay that every 30 days. Apparently, the parts is a lot stronger these days.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like, maybe 3 months stronger is what the girls was saying.
Ooh, okay, so hear
Wait,
me out.
Is that for parts that are already in or?
I think so.
So hear me out. 200 grand, we make $700 an hour. That's 285 hours.
I heard
That means we
$500
only
today.
wait. Let me remath. Oh my god. Don't be saying that to me. Okay, that's 400 hours. That's 10 weeks of 40 hours a week. Okay, that's not that bad. That's not that bad. That means
that's
if we
sexy
work
as
full time
fuck.
for 10 weeks, we get 2 weeks of not having to focus on
Yes.
anything but the engine in our car.
That's so sexy. I love that. This makes me feel things. You're giving me fanny flutters thinking about working so much. So exciting.
You know what we need? We need a oversupply, like, you know, overstock fucking PD only fucking parts, you know? That's what we need.
You know,
Seized parts.
Anderson told Shift 3 meeting today that apparently we're getting audited. Did you hear about this?
Oh, I already did my audit.
How'd it go?
The audit
Nova,
isn't...
close your ears.
Lucas, the audit isn't like a you thing. The only thing they really ask is if you know the difference between RS and PC. That's the only like targeted thing. The only other questions they ask is like, how do you feel about, you know, the current state of the PD? How do you feel about this department? What do you think are the successes? I do, yeah, because I feel like if you get asked this by people in your own department, then you're hesitant to provide like candid, you know, like you feel like.
Were you like blunt, like all bets are off, like
yes!
Girl, fuck this shit?
Yes.
Well, to be honest, I'm like that to bitches' faces even now, so it's gonna be the same thing.
Did I say they was short-sighted with the fucking legislation shit? Yes. Did I say it was unnecessary? Yes. There ain't no reason to hold back. It's anonymous.
Wait, who did yours? Was Nova? Was it you?
No, I did mine with Daisy, Anna, and Anderson.
Wait, you've had your review already?
Yeah.
Oh, those T fucking goblins. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, to be fair, I did approach them with a situation because I wanted to know how to proceed without being investigated for evidence mishandling.
Yeah.
JJ, slow down. Thank
Slow
you.
down!
That was definitely JJ.
What's going on with Mirror Park? But Mirror Park is worse than the South Side right now.
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
Okay.
So there's a specific alleyway. Follow me. Come this way.
I don't even want to go.
No, it'll be fine.
A jet engine.
It'll be fine. Okay. I'm gonna tell you what to avoid.
Okay.
I know this. I was.
Flippy won't shoot me.
There were many holes on rooftops and properties. But look, I can turn.
Dude, have you whipped this Coquette yet?
Yes, I drove it the other day.
It's insane, but the brakes are so... It's like literally too fast for the fucking brakes.
Okay, every property here, both left and right, do not go...
No.
Do not go on any of the roofs and try not to go into any of the yards. Some of them, front and backyards, problematic. Until you get to like this break right here, and then properties on the other side of this alleyway are fine. So that inner portion on both sides, just avoid.
I haven't done a pursuit through this alleyway in like fucking years.
I know, it's been a long time. I feel like people forget it exists.
I think so.
Like you can drive through the alley, but a lot of there's a lot. I can demonstrate very quickly. Stand by. One moment. Huh?
Why? What is that noise?
Where are you?
Okay, maybe I can't.
I feel like I knew what you were gonna try and say, but I don't think it's that kind of alley.
Oh, I'm on the other fucking side of it. That's why. Come over here. You see this?
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I were to go down, I'd be down.
What?
Yeah. Don't be. Don't.
Oh.
Yep. You see?
Oh.
Okay. Now, just be avoiding these properties. Okay. Both front and backyards. You never know.
Interesting.
There's a sinkhole there.
Scary.
But yeah, that Jasper showed me that yesterday.
Wild.
Oh, my husband's on
husband woke
duty.
Yeah.
Wow.
Come on, let's go scold.
Snitchard!
Yes,
Let's go
sir.
scold him.
Good morning.
Good morning.
There's no way you called my husband Snitchard.
That's his name, and he's okay with it. Right, Snitchard?
Yes, that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah. At least it's true. It's truthful.
To my husband. Yeah, I've been getting like sporadic headaches that I never used to get before. Like This was within the past week or so.
Yeah.
I can finally drive the big back Scout. Thank you.
You can go in.
It took a while to open.
Yeah, it's I think the things are a bit weird.
I'm surprised there's no gate here.
It's courthouse public. Yeah. Well,
Just to prevent
That's what I
people
mean.
from like physical access down here, you know?
mm.
Though I do
Nice.
like that we need these fucking battery-powered cordless drills, you know, that ain't got too long of a battery life for our fucking cars, because holy fuck.
Mm. Yeah, that gate doesn't lock there. And then we can get in through the side door there as well.
Ooh.
So it is what it is.
Dun dun dun. I meant to ask you something the other day and I forgot what. Oh, did you just recently sign on duty? Like 20 minutes ago, maybe.
Yes.
Okay. So the reason I'm asking is because when I signed on duty, this is now the second time it's happened where my dispatch was not functioning.
Matt, I'm leaving food for you at MRPD, okay? I'm going to bed. Your wait's
Yeah, I just signed her
10:42.
off.
Good
Hey,
luck
firm.
out there, soldier.
And you were so originally nobody was showing up under units or officers,
Yeah.
and then you did. Like when I went to go take a photo to send it off to the IT person, but it was probably because you signed on duty after I did.
Good
So
morning.
Dad!
Good morning.
Wow. Everything happens when I go to sleep, huh?
Well,
Oh,
I've already spoken to your husband about your super darkness, and you no longer you're gonna tell me when
What?
you're going to sleep in the future.
Okay. Yeah, I will. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
That's
I
an
even
order.
42'd last night. I did that. I'm with the
You
same
did
rank. I think.
that.
Lucas, real quick,
Yes?
how did you? Who got stuck in the sewers?
Don't make me. I'm gonna have outbursts.
I know, but
It was Mendez and Piper, and while we was chasing someone, and then this little motherfucker on the Sanchez rolled up, locked the sewer thing, and then drove away.
how do we
And
get
then
someone out?
someone named Denzel showed up with a crowbar and
Oh,
popped
A
open.
firm. Okay, perfect. I'm just saying. Actually, do we know who was being chased? Because we got a quiet cell that I can lock and forget. Set it and forget it, you know?
We did not. We didn't have enough. There was like
Damn.
literally 2 units, so.
Yeah, so they hot
I'm
pursued down
going to
into the
bed. Stay
sewers,
safe.
and then somebody up top in a coordinated effort blocked the entrance, preventing officers from getting out. And we have no means of opening it outside of calling people with crowbars, I guess. That's problematic.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I'm just saying, I don't want no bitches complaining if they get locked in a cell.
Well, no, that's true. Yeah.
Hi, Anna.
Good morning. Hi.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning. I'm just.
I'm like,
picking up.
I'm outnumbered 3-1.
This is the
Whoa.
usual story for this time of day at this point.
That's true. The strange in between time between 3 and 1 has always been, it's always been that way.
Hey, you seen this report?
Should I not be here?
No, you're okay.
Okay.
Arnie was spotted, or someone believed to be Arnie, was spotted with a pump shotgun this morning. At a 24/7.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me.
I'm just thinking, like, how soon it's been since the raid and everything. It's pretty, it hasn't been long.
Well, Richard, with the amount of cargo ships that are quite evidently being ransacked off the coast, I mean, you don't know what they're pulling off these ships. Could be anything. For all we know, they've got fucking C4 now and everything. We just don't know.
Oh, you think
We haven't caught anyone.
there's class 2s coming off the cargo ships?
It could
Huh?
be anything. It could be literally anything.
Yeah, yes.
I still need some official, like direction behind how I'm supposed to run a gun.
What do you mean?
You know my relation with Forehead, right?
Yeah.
And so he had a gun. He shot it into a tinted window because I was calling out that it was tinted. It was a small one that you can't just roll down. I was like, Forehead. I called him afterwards because then he got shot by who I believe to be Future. When he shot the other side out, clearly highlighting the dangers of tinted windows and not being able to see what's on the other side. But I called Forehead and I say, listen, Forehead, I won't have to write a warrant out for you if you turn in that gun. So like 10 minutes later, he's handing me a gun. It's one of them like shitty 1911s.
Right.
But there's no magazine. There's no ammo. I don't want to just pull all willy-nilly from an evidence locker and be accused of like mishandling of evidence or anything, you know? Like I know that likely wouldn't happen, but like I don't want to be the reason, you know, that we have new SOPs behind stuff. How's that? Normally this is an issue because we seize this shit off of somebody and there's a magazine already in it. You know, there's ammo in it typically, but we ain't got a magazine for this gun. Or ammo I actually could get because Harper gave me an evidence locker that only had ammo. I think there was 25 bullets in it. I would only need one. And it wasn't attached to any like arrest or anything. But like, what's I'm officially supposed to do? Because I need to compare it to the casing to prove that it's not the same gun.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I also need to make sure it ain't a hot gun.
I guess you'd have to like buy some ammunition from, like, you just have to make the way I see. You've got to do it like an experiment, right? You've got to have a controlled environment. So if you go and buy some ammunition,
Honey, I can't just go to ammunition and buy it. Is the problem?
Why not?
I don't think that they have those magazines.
I thought you said it's a 1911.
Yeah, one of those shitty ones.
Oh, the shitty ones.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I thought you just meant a regular.
No,
okay.
no.
I see. I see.
I mean, I could probably call Forehead, and I could probably get one, but
no, that's not the. Yeah, but you get there needs to be okay. There needs to be something across the board for this kind of situation. Yeah.
Yeah. The only like potential sort of thing recommended from Daisy was pulling it from a old case with no pending docket stuff over 30 days, but additionally writing up sort of a
report,
a chain of custody report, like within the one it was taken from, indicating the exact reason as to why it was taken. And if it can be, returned, obviously return it there. Obviously the ammo wouldn't, but the magazine could. But like, should there just be an evidence locker of like, one type of magazine, some, types of ammo for certain things? I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, what would make it simpler, in my opinion, would be, I mean, I don't see why the PD shouldn't be able to like have some kind of ammunition that fits those kind of guns. Do you know what I mean? Like some kind of testing ammunition that we could just buy for that kind of situation. That's very temporary and we can dispose of afterwards.
I mean, I was even thinking similar to our, machine for running serials of firearms and whatnot. A separate ballistics testing machine where, we load the gun up in that sort of test environment and shoot it within it.
Firing range.
Yeah. And not necessarily, how do I explain this? Yeah. Under, sort of following your logic here of, sort of like a very sort of short term ammo, if you will, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stuff that, obviously the police department would have. But like, you want to know the crazy part? These new guns that we're running into, if we find one on someone and they don't even have a fucking magazine, guess what? We ain't getting casings.
Yeah.
Let that sink in. We'll have the gun. There could be a body on it, but there's nothing we could do. That's problemo addict. Oh, 1 second. New phone, who dis?
Hey, Mr. Rhodes, it's Susie. How are you today?
Oh, hey, Susie. I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. My friend Jasper just called me and informed me that you were interested in possibly upgrading the tires to your car.
I was. Unfortunately, I had to pick sort of in the moment. I went with sports tires, which are, okay. I wanted to go with off-road tires because I am driving an SUV, but I couldn't find anybody with those in stock.
Okay, so you don't want a set of off-road tires, is what you're telling me?
I don't, unfortunately. Not right now, at least. Not after spending. Girl, I ain't got that kind of money.
Okay, sir. Okay, I just figured I'd call.
But how much would a set be, just in case?
Well, right now, they're $40K for a set, which is
40 grand.
That's only 15,000 more than the sports.
Girl, there's
set,
not enough dick to suck to make that kind of money.
No, you're not listening. You're not listening.
I'm not listening.
I'm only charging $15,000 more than the dog shit sports set, and these tires are significantly better. So don't come for me on the price, okay? I'm being fucking nice. But that price might not last because, like, supply and demand, baby.
I understand supply and demand. I do.
So it's time for you to get a good job and fucking
get a good job. Girl, what do you do for a living?
Me?
Yeah.
Buy and sell car parts.
You buy and sell car parts? Yeah. Are you hiring?
No, I've got my business partner Loki, Lot Lizard, and he uses code Loki at checkout. He makes sure that everybody uses code Loki at checkout, and he
wait, hold up. What kind of cut does he get for code Loki at checkout? Well, I'm just saying I could refer people to you, and I get a code and I get a cut.
You got to speak to my partner Loki. He's going to be the one that's going to determine if we are going to be cutting anybody else in.
Okay. All right. We'll do. Thank you for the call, Susie.
Have a great day, sir.
Bye. Fuck, I wanted those off-road tires. I scaled the fucking mountain and saved Crystal yesterday. The sport tires are doing just fine. It's not worth paying double for off-road tires. If you saw the environment that we were in, I am kind of a hero. And I'll say it now and I'll say it again. The Scout will be the PD fucking sleeper car. It's got a big engine bay, and I could probably fit a V12 in that bitch.
Can you give me Susie's number, honey? Is that right?
Yeah. It is 420-661-1034. She's actually in the lemon list right now. Selling stage 4 coilovers, car upgrades, stage 1 to 3. Cosmetics and sales at Mosley's and Tuna, and she's buying tires. $$. And Alice Watson's still in the lemon list, buying stage 4 to 5 brakes. Girl, ain't nobody gonna stop that big back. Sorry. Honey, I saw something on when I was in bed yesterday scrolling through the talk. I saw something. If you hear me say or when talking to someone, start calling them a little bone, little leg, little body, little back ass bitch, that was from the talk.
What the fuck is that? Little bony little leg, little bony little back ass bitch.
Yep.
Damn, that's messed up.
Yeah, but you know what? I was laughing uncontrollably when I heard it the first time.
Who is Cole Cascade? Who's that? Anybody know?
I have encountered them a few times. Hold on. I could be wrong. I wanna say I've encountered Cole with Dusty Car. Hold on.
Sorry, that's sorry. Poor spell it. But...
I want to see if I'm correct in that. Maybe I'm not. Hold on. Is his arrest or with a bunch of random people? Holy, but Cole gets arrested so frequently. Maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong. Maybe I should just look at Dusty. Sorry, I started looking at Dusty and I see an improper window tint citation.
Honey.
Ooh, I love myself.
Was that you?
Yeah, it was me. Listen, I tell everybody about window tint, and I always give them a warning on the first time.
Of course.
So, how are y'all doing?
Just
Not too
waking
bad.
up.
Just waking
same.
up, same.
Feeling absolutely on top of the world, loving every day. Can't wait to wake
Yeah,
up.
I have to-do list of a fucking something, so I have to get to just staring outside the room like a typical marshal I am.
Oh.
Yeah, having a good time. What about you?
I'm having a great time. I'm the only non-martial on duty, which
You want
tells
a
me it's
revolver?
too dangerous.
Holding it down.
It's too
Holding it
dangerous to go out
down.
there. I would love a revolver, actually.
There's one
I
in your
would.
glove box right now because I didn't bring mine out.
The locked one?
Yeah, in your lockbox.
Okay, good. Oh, I was gonna say
Well,
I'm
no,
spooked.
I'm gonna get it back.
Yeah. Actually, let's go do that now before we forget.
Yeah.
I'm always scared, you know? I say
Why?
scared, but like more just like mindful of like what could go wrong, you know? Like last thing I want is for there to be like a sergeant in the middle of a shootout. I go down, they jump in my car, they reach for that, and then like all hell breaks loose. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, I get you.
I ain't trying to deal with that. Who got time for that?
I very
There we
rarely
are.
take the revolver out these days. Just mainly use the Glock.
There we are. Oh, that's so satisfying. You did the little thing.
Yeah, it's a chunker though. You like I say, if you whiff your if you whiff your shot and there's 3 of them on you, then you're pretty dead.
Fuck. How are you liking marshals?
I don't mind it. I think the reality is though, Rhodes is a lot of yeah, I don't know what is wrong with this door. I think the reality is that you know, there are a lot of issues within the PD itself that have stemmed for a long period of time, and
Yep.
I think trying to fix it now is causing
Which
a
one
lot
is
of
it?
friction, a lot of issues.
Yeah, people don't like
Oh,
change,
okay.
which I think for me highlights one of the biggest issues I brought up, which is I don't think any iteration of a police department can be successful if the potential of an entire restructure occurs every 90 days. That's wild.
You want my honest opinion?
Hit me
Someone
with
like
it.
you or Jenny Hall couldn't even fix it the way it is now.
Oh, hell no. Are you kidding? Listen, you can't tell me that anybody can successfully push change department wide to essentially change culture in 90 days or less. That's not something that just you snap your fingers and it happens. And then I would imagine people in those high command positions start stressing over, has there been enough done in the past 90 days? Am I going to get put back in my position after 90 days? Like, no, that's not an environment that anybody can thrive in. Absolutely not.
Right, I'll be right back.
All right.
So if you go into the evidence locker logs, Dar, so the main, you are looking from line 2145 all the way to 2184. That's like the last bit when the locker was opened and closed. So we need to look for phone calls that happen in this timeline, which is like quite literally 30 minutes. 19th of October.
I heard nothing.
Don't worry about it.
You're okay. Could you instead, have you got a report for this?
Yes, there's a report on it.
Okay, is there a report with the times in it? Because it's going to be easy for me to just look at a report with the time frames in it, then look through a whole thing. You know, I mean, look through a
I
whole
can
spreadsheet.
make you a separate investigative report. How's that?
Oh.
So you
whatever
can make
works,
your...
honestly.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I'm going to upload these now.
Not the subpoenas.
Oh.
Oh, that was actually one of the other questions I got asked. Have you ever written a subpoena or warrant? No. And then I clarified and said, in the past 10 months, I've only written one arrest warrant.
Is it true?
Yeah. Yeah. And the the justification.
Everybody?
No, the justification I like to give is, how can I write one warrant when in the midst of writing that warrant, another stabbing occurs in front of me at Senior Buns? And then while trying to deal with that, they get away because another stabbing happened at Senior Buns. At this point, which warrant do I write? All of them?
Yeah, that's a very good point.
But then somebody else gets stabbed. Then what? The conveyor belt don't stop. The conveyor belt don't stop for nobody. Now, to be clear, obviously I'm being a bit facetious. But like that actually truly was the case the first like 3 months in the Senior Bun stabbings. Like straight up. Holy fuck. That was mind numbing.
Sorry, honey. I'm not trying to ignore you. I'm doing
you're good. You're
things
good.
at the same time.
Have you thought about becoming a marshal, Rhodes?
You see, being a marshal is kind of like thinking about being a marshal is kind of like telling yourself you want a child. Like you think you do, but you don't. You kind of just want to be the uncle and like have them, and when they act up, send them back to their parents. You know, I don't want to be that authority that like everyone has to go to complain. I don't want to be the parent. I want to be the uncle.
Okay. But what if... Okay, what if there was a perfect world where you would be a marshal? What would that world be like?
I don't know that like scenario exists.
I mean, if it were to exist, well, let's talk about fairy tales.
Fairy tales,
fictions. Yeah.
Very rarely would there ever have to be a problem within the police departments. And when I say very rarely, I mean like I can't receive more than one report every 4 months about internal PD issues. And that ain't gonna happen. Like I'm down to Doc Connect. Investigations, yes, absolutely. Okay? But I also need my daily going out and pulling people over. Like that's the mental refresh that I need.
Okay. So let's say if you were, if you had, because of course we need people out there in the field too, I'll be honest.
Right.
Now let's say there are people in the marshals dedicated to the field world. Does that excite you and you're not really focused on the interdepartmental issues, though you will be requiring to give them advices and problem solving, um, advice, but other than that, your main focus would be on the field. Does that, would you like that? Something
Not
like that?
really, because I still know I would have to default back to like dealing with drama. Listen, the reason you will very rarely ever get that from me is solely because I've done command, I've done high command. I know what it's like to be on the receiving end of just nonstop complaints. And when I say complaints, I'm not necessarily saying that they all had, any level of validity, I guess, but it doesn't change the fact that everyone feels they have a reason to complain. Oftentimes they were valid, absolutely, but like we also delegated, and despite delegation, it still always sort of, required us to look into it.
I'm gonna go start looking through these.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, I don't know. I couldn't do marshals. I wanted to just be a run of the mill cop. I don't even want to be a senior. I just want to be a deputy.
Well, you are a senior now.
I know.
well.
I mean, I love my job, to be clear. I love my job. I love my department. And I'm okay where things are right now. Asterisk.
So, okay,
assuming they don't change
as a man who's probably got the most level head in the city or the state, what do you think the solution is?
To current problems?
Yeah.
Truthfully, right now, I think I wouldn't even attribute this to like Moss being the chief of police or anything like that. I think the solution truly comes down to people who are not in the police department should have no say in who leads the police department, right? Like I don't make financial decisions for accounts worth billions of dollars because I'm not a stockbroker, I'm not in the finance department. I don't fucking know money.
I know.
All right, just because people select you to be a person does not mean you have the experience or the knowledge to make a proper decision behind who should lead the PD. So I don't think the mayor, I don't think the people should have any say in who leads these individual departments. I also don't think that should ever come up for vote anytime close to 90 days. That's fucking wild. My biggest things are those changes should be pushed from within the police department, by the police department, whether that be BCSO or LSPD. And the people coming in should be already in the PD, and people need to essentially volunteer for said position, not just be pushed up to it. Because you need people who are going to have their heart in it, not people who will try to make the best of a situation they didn't want to be in.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, no consideration outside of, dereliction of duty, corruption, anywhere before 6 months minimum. I would argue even 9 months, personally. Because again, how do you set a foundation if every 90 days you could have a fucking rotating, revolving door of high command? That's not okay.
That's true.
That's not okay.
Then they don't have their own command structure in them, whatever else, right?
And those people coming in can have the best of ideas, but again, I don't think 90 days is anywhere close to long enough. Like that's no bueno. And we all know historically people are always going to have a reason to complain about the police department. They did X, Y, and Z. They, they're going to argue about everything, but you have to sort of like wade through a bunch of shit to find out the people who have actual genuine concerns about the police department, as opposed to I did crime and got caught. And again, to be clear, while I think Moss did some problematic things, and the example I like to give is like the unfair application of the jurisdiction legislation, in which she specifically announced it would not apply to Shift 3. Like, that alone is telling me that it's like a very targeted thing. Because if we as Shift 3 can operate without having to enforce that stupid stuff, like, the others can too. You just chose not to. You can't hide under the guise of, oh, well, it's legislation, and then, again, not apply it consistently.
Yeah.
So I think there was a level of... Now, to be clear, I was not privy to, like, any of their conversations. Maybe it was a means of, like, a small dig towards the BCSO, but ultimately, I think... I think Moss has good intent. But I also don't know how much power she actually has if the potential of her being replaced is high if she doesn't follow what the mayor wants, which is, again, why I believe the mayor should have no control over chief of police. Because the chief of police could literally be told, do this or I'm replacing you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then what?
I think that the PD has spent more time fighting itself than it has actually doing solid police work.
Yes, that is exactly it. There has been more... Many years ago, we went through the same shit, right? Except it was Kyle Pred. Kyle Pred was being the little fucking shit who didn't want to pay the union fees to cover the fucking repairs. And like, yeah, great. That's fine, okay? But it was pretty much only Pred. Very, very few other people. It was primarily Pred. He was 90% of the problem. And you know how Pred is. He'll do something for the sake of just arguing, right? He'll do something for literally just the sake of having a dissenting opinion against
Pred will be Pred.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's fine. But there's almost now a culture amongst like another department's doing something. Let's try to like not sabotage, but let's try to find any reason to complain. And the only way this flies is if they can do so with very little effort. When I was speaking with Anna the other day regarding the jurisdiction stuff, you want to know what my solution was? Legislation doesn't need to change, but every time either side decides to take over a scene just because it crossed jurisdiction, they have to write a full-length report indicating exactly why they felt it to be appropriate, exactly who they took it from, and then be interviewed by marshals regarding the situation. And guess what? I guarantee it would come to a screeching halt because you are now requiring that they put effort into inconveniencing the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And from what Anna said, apparently she did do that, and the only reports she received were from the BCSO and none from LSPD. So I'm not surprised that that's the case. But if you allow stuff like that to go uncontested with little effort, again, they're going to keep doing it. Listen, I'm petty. I've said this a million times. I'm petty. Always have been, always will be. Okay? But I also know where the line is. And unfortunately, I feel like other people know where the line is, but they're still willing to cross it despite knowing the consequence of doing so. Because again, the likelihood of them being called out is very slim if there's legislation backing them. But it boils down to just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just been my experience. Is I was excited to come and start, doing all this hard work and kicking in some doors and doing all that, and the majority of the time has been spent basically with a fucking baby wipe.
Yeah. I think that's why there was such a I actually... Okay, so if we go back to when the BCSO was created and Andy being the mayor, I think the reason that worked out so well was because Andy is probably one of the most level-headed people, like, of all time. She understands the value in investing in a police department. And the reason I mention that is because, you know, when Max was the mayor, for example, and to be clear, I think Max was unfairly judged, just on the basis that some of like the financial decisions truly were out of his control, even out of the treasurer's control. But it didn't change the fact that there was no investment in the police department. And instead of conveying that it was out of his control, what ended up happening was he used the Pred approach of doubling down. And instead of saying, guys, listen, if I could, I would, but unfortunately I can't, he would instead double down and say something like, well, how much money do you have in your bank account? Well, you can afford it. Despite knowing not a single one of us, you know, owned property outright. Like, he's pretty much saying you should work to work, even though that wasn't truly his sentiment. But again, he sort of took responsibility for something out of his control, and that sort of changed the police department's view of him. And again, I know it wasn't entirely within his control. Like, there are things that the police department can do now that we couldn't do before, and that's great, absolutely great. But we need to stop this, like, oh, the police department's costing so much money. Like, if you don't invest in us, guess what? We ain't gonna be doing much. I heard our pay got reduced down to $700 an hour. And actually, Lucas just told me it might be $500 right now. I'm sorry, but that doesn't even cover the cost of fucking food.
Yeah. And like on top of that, now you've got all these supercars that are going around that standard car just can't even.
And you start looking at some of our base level equipment, it's just not good. I've been driving consistently, despite being in, you know, cargo fast unit. I feel that I, within cargo fast unit, should be able to point out any level of vehicle equipment in the police department and go, this is what you need to do in order to learn how to drive this thing. Yet I take out the Scout, which again, most people are going to have because it was one of our primary pursuit vehicles because it topped out at 190. And that thing turns like a fucking aircraft carrier. Okay? I finally got upgrades in it yesterday. And when I say finally got upgrades, it was pretty much a fucking charity case by Jasper Johns. Okay? I appreciate. And I paid maybe $30,000 for stage 2 upgrades across the board. And I don't even know what condition they're in. But stage 2 upgrades across the board and a turbo. And it's finally viable. Finally. But for context, I have $69,000. That's not a joke, by the way. $69,000 is what I got. While simultaneously being told if I want any engine upgrades, that's 100 to 200 grand. I was told 30 days, but it might be 90 days. And again, taking account like just the cost of that, the amount of hours you would have to put in, that's 400 hours at $500 an hour. Not even including the cost of fuel, the cost of repairs, the cost of fucking eating. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I don't want to be a broken record going over the same stuff over and over and over and over and over. But like, it's not a surprise that, you know, we're in this position where I'm the only officer on duty if and when we're being paid $500. Like, we're being paid enough to barely cover the cost of doing our job. You know what I mean? A base level repair, one across the board, is $2,000. I have to work 4 hours for that. 4 hours.
And how often do you have to replace all your parts like that for one across?
So if like procedurally, if I use any of the cargo fast unit vehicles, it doesn't matter if I took it out for 10 minutes, one across, before it gets turned in. So honestly, that's one of the main reasons I did not. Security truck? Y'all, I can't go to that. I'm scared. It's one of the main reasons why I didn't want to take out any of the cargo fast units. For why? To pay $2,000? Like, if I take out my own vehicles, I repair them at my leisure, you know? Like, when it makes financial sense to do so. Like, when I actually get full utilization of the parts I'm purchasing, not when procedurally I have to, even though logically it doesn't make sense. The thing is, I understand why. You know, it needs to be a standard, because otherwise people are going to be like, oh, I didn't think it needed a repair, and it just gets real messy afterwards.
Yeah, no, I can understand it.
And
I
then
can understand the average officer, like, just being in that position of just like, well, can't get any upgrades, can't afford it. What's the fucking point?
The officers that can afford it are people who are around every single day. I don't actually know what LSPD gets paid right now. What I do know is that I really do want to push for legislation statewide referencing like financial transparency. Because I don't believe a mayor should be able to snap his fingers, change our pay from whatever it was to $700 an hour, and then potentially to $500 an hour, and us not even know. Like, I should know what I'm being paid for the job I'm doing. Whether that be an announcement, and it doesn't even need to be like a timed thing in the sense of, we need 72 hours before you can make any changes. Like, you can make the change. I just want to be able to reference a document that shows me what that change is and why. And if the budget is going up and our shit's going down, like, you best be able to justify that. As opposed to, you know, well, I'm the mayor, I just can. Did that make sense?
Can I repeat it back to you just so I can make myself aware, so I
Yeah.
understand? You mean you'd like to be able to have an accurate statement of the income you're receiving so you can pay for bills, electricity, food, and other lively expenses so you're not surviving and you're living?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's
Broad
funny that you
concepts for
mentioned,
2024.
you know, so you're not surviving, you're living. A couple months ago, I was speaking with Daisy on the phone, and I word for word told her, like, I feel like I'm drowning. Like, in the PD, that is exactly how I fucking felt. Because right now, right? I'm the only officer on duty. Shift 3 has always been relatively low on numbers, but, like, you know, I never feel like I can see something from start to finish just because either a units thing, or even if it's not a units thing, it's like, units are available, but everyone's caught up in fucking internal drama that we ain't getting no response to stuff. Now, to be clear, if I was not the only officer on duty, I would not be here, okay? But, like, bitch, who's going to the fucking bank truck right now? Because it ain't me. I ain't getting shot. No. Ain't happening. And the other reality is that I know these desperate bitches out here would rob me in a traffic stop, okay? They may not know I'm the only officer, but they would be the only time I would ever get robbed. I've had this gun since February. It's been 8 months. I ain't looking to get robbed now. There are people I will pick and choose my battles with, you know? If I see forehead, yeah, I'd pull him over. If I see idiot, I'd pull him over. You know? Stuff like that, but... no. I tried getting on the megaphone the other day. Someone was driving a pink entity in front of the Fleeca Bank. Parked on the sidewalk, and I was like, you can't park there. And the only thing the two people had to say was, Blaine County, is this Blaine County? I was like, holy fuck, I have never met two people lacking such personality combined ever in my entire life. If that was the only thing they could fucking come up with. Those would be the people who would rob me for my gun. And then I'd have to file a report about a missing gun, and who wants to do that? Not me. You know what? I'm gonna probably go up north and run the toll.
What?
What?
I'm enjoying this talk with you. It's like having a nice. It's like actually speaking to an intelligent person. I'm not even kidding. Like listening to you is just so soothing. I don't know why.